What is up, ladies and gents? It is your friendly neighborhood BJJ podcast, RAF ESPARZA, coming to you with another installment of the Bullpen. I hope you're having a great day. This is a joint venture, in case you don't know, between Inside BJJ and the Grappling Hour podcast. How's everything going on this Friday? Have you had enough time to recover? I don't think I have, so I'm going to go to somebody who I don't know if he's more or less well-rested than I am. But why don't we go ahead and say hello to our good friend, Tim Freeman. Tim, how are you doing, sir?
Hey, man. No rest for the wicked. I'm always amped up to jump on with you and talk some jiu-jitsu. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, a little PGF, and a lot of other stuff. So glad to be here today, Raph. It's great to see you. Got some great topics coming up on the board.
Beautiful. Why don't we go ahead and look at the board directly for a second here? Here's what happens. I get home from PGF and my thoughts get a little bit fried. So I'd like to go to Tim first to see what the home viewing experience is. And then somewhere in that conversation, I myself also remember what happens because we ingest 30 matches in front of us. We have a pre-show that we do. We have lots of shenanigans going on. And then, if I can remind you guys of one thing, and I say this often, you don't want to miss the post show. And nowhere was that more evident this week than if you showed up, you knew, you knew. If you didn't, you might be hearing some things on the internet. I can neither confirm nor deny. I can just tell you, don't miss the post show. Having said that, Tim, what can you tell us from your interpretation of how things went down?
You got to play to win. Raph is right. If you want to get the juice, you got to be there when the fruit's being squeezed. You might have missed that one, but I didn't. Man, what a great night for the PGF. What a fantastic week for Derek Rayfield goes off. Bowers looks like potentially he's starting to feel some heat now, getting a little frustrated. Dolomar picks up 3 elbow genie finishes in under 1 minute in block 5 block 3 in 3 out of their 5 matches. So a lot of good stuff happening. The Twisters are putting massive numbers on the board. New Hope still hanging in there. Tropic Thunders are having a little trouble. We'll just say that. That's okay. Hey, look, it happens. It happens. This is a rebuilding season. Olivo Papadelos went off. Olivo and Lobo. Man, great stuff this week. Watching at home, it was a pleasure. And I know I said nobody's going to go watch 5 hours of this after the fact, but I actually did. I put that thing up on my laptop, and it was quite an enjoyable experience. I thought the production was balls from start to finish, including the bullpen pre-show for PGF Season 8. Your live spot right before the throw over to the main broadcast. It was fantastic, man. You guys did a great job. It was very, very fun to watch at home.
Thank you, Tim, and I love hearing that. And I have to tell you, you were missed as well. Do you know how I know you were missed?
How's that?
A certain trash jiu-jitsu panda was in the comment section while I was in the post show and said, "Get Raph on here and bring back Tim Freeman." Now, I think the weirdest part of this sentence, when I hear it, it's as if we aren't a package deal. The only reason you are not there is just because of logistics. Having said that, you have a fairly large presence. But our comment section might have been drunker than the people at the open bar at PGF. And it's fascinating to watch them go to work because I get used to them trying very hard to come up with clever things to say about me. It doesn't happen. But I see them going after our athletes, and I just think, like, what are they even trying to coherently say? I think at one point they were trying to call Mike John a tomato can. I was like, bet, roll with him.
Yeah, right.
That dude just punctured somebody's lung, and you're like, look at this dude. And I'm like, I know a lot of us who are tight with Mike John make fun of him, but at some point, Mike John and I like punch each other in the shoulder, like, all right, I'll see you later. I didn't get that from the comment section, so I was looking at these guys being like, this is bold for some of you goons. So there is that.
We may have inadvertently started a I hate Mike John kind of thing going on the internet. Like, he's hate worthy. Mike is actually a really cool dude. But you're right. See, this is why people don't like him, Raph. When I say he's a cool dude, you shake your head. Unless this is for the comment, you may have pre-read it coming in.
I did. Driving back and forth to Vegas is exhausting. Mike John didn't have to rub it in during the post show.
All right, forget it. Mike John is a turd.
Hold on. Egg, was that you in a burner account being like, Mike John, that dude, he's a tomato can. I just want to point out that dude sucks. It's so funny because I went back to read the comments. Normally I have it on live. I didn't have it on live. And I went back to read it because, stuff happened on the post show. So it is what it is. I was intrigued to see what people might have to say. And instead here I'm being like, why are they going after Mike? Why are they high on autism jokes tonight? Well, I know that part. But it went to show a little bit of the caliber of folks that we have at the late night. So I definitely laughed. But yeah, going after Mike and even some of the stuff, it made me laugh too much. And I hope that you guys were entertained by it. But the clips that I've seen coming out of it were amazing. I did find out some new information, though. Landon Elmore, we just posted this on the Bullpen a little bit earlier today, where he said that he and Christos, part of the reason why they've been so friendly competitive on who is on the leaderboard and who wins each night, is that the loser has to do the dishes. So what say you to that as a wager, Tim?
I mean, it depends on how many people live in the house. Like, what are these guys eating? If it's just two dudes, like, that's not that big of a deal. Now, it's possible that Olivo uses the French cooking method, which I can't remember the name. There's a specific name for it, but that's the method where you line all your ingredients up in these little cups and containers and, ramekins, and you have everything. I could see Christos getting up in the morning, walking into the kitchen, and Chris has been up all morning preparing a quiche, and he's got all of the ingredients laid out on the table. I got my onions, my bell pepper. No, those are nightshades. I don't eat those, bad for inflammation. I got my cauliflower. I got my egg whites. I got my fake and bacon. I got it all set up. That might be what the bet is, because, he makes a little omelet, doesn't make anything for Papadelos, right? Just himself, and then fills the sink up with the dishes at the end.
That was an incredibly elaborate setup and execution there, Tim. I don't know that it's 100% truthful because it made some of the plot look like Ratatouille. Not quite sure if you just lifted part of it, but here's the part I'm angry about. So they say this. I think it's a great clip. We put it up. Christos gets in the comment section and he says, well, actually, he doesn't clean up the dishes at all. And I thought about it, and I remembered in the behind the scenes footage that you heard, I think it was Heath the ref, aka Weird Al, picking up the dishes and going, none of these boys do the dishes. So I don't know why the host brain, maybe it was because I was tired, didn't challenge him on it and go, do you guys actually do dishes? Because I don't know if they live there. I assume they do at the Fighter House. But if that's the case, how are you not doing the dishes? And if it is the case, that's 7 dudes living in one house.
Yeah, man.
Not
and you got
cool.
Ratatouille in the kitchen. The name is mise en place. That's the style, mise en place. It's a very, very organized style of cooking. Yeah, man. Maybe they're using paper plates. That's probably the solution. Paper plates and plastic utensils in my house. When those come into the house, we're not allowed to use the regular dishes anymore until we've gone through the leftover paper plates and plastic cups and all that stuff.
I just want to get back to why I was mad, though. How dare you come on the post show and not tell a true story? Like, we are an information gathering show. And God damn it, we are going to get you the best information possible. And I don't want these guys just coming on here telling lies after lies. And is Christos lying? I'm inclined to believe he might actually be telling the truth. So then what it was this bet? Like, did you say like, hey, loser has to do the dishes? Okay. And then not follow up on it? That sounds like it might actually be an enforcement problem by Christos. Speaking of Christos, one more thing. Christos hit it one more time with the idea of saying, like, some of you guys were saying my post speech was not good. And
yeah, he
who's
sure
in
did.
number one right now? And I go, what does that mean? Like, you are in number one because you're breaking legs and necks, not because you won Miss Congeniality for your speech. So I think the weird part I want to harbor as a point to you, Christos, is face, run, and cut the promo. This is amazing because we might have a new Mr. Moneybag right now. John Chandler has been continuously getting Moneybag after Moneybag, so that I think if I'm looking at anybody, that dude is cashing some checks just based on performance. In about a good 6 minutes, made $1,000. It's not bad work. So John Chandler definitely putting it up there and being very, very excited. You mentioned a few things. Tropic Thunders. Listen, we love you guys. I contemplated using this time to do a funeral. I feel it's too mean, but I will just tell you the idea I had. I was going to give a eulogy for the post-playoffs possibilities.
Let me fire up taps. Hold on.
Yeah. Gentlemen, I said this last week, and I do mean it. You could still be a stopper. And look at some of your matches and start cutting some side deals. Being like, hey, you really want me to go after so-and-so? Make an offer. Because right now, JJ Bowers owes me money for giving him a charger. So,
yeah.
I mean, I made some extra cash that night. So be a little creative with your stuff. Any other things that spout out to you? Because we'll come back to JJ in a little bit. But for you, Tim, anything else that kind of like popped out of your head from this week of action?
I mean, you know, I'm impressed a lot with these young guys, Landon Elmore, making a name for themselves. There was so much kind of like murmuring and complaining that, they don't got all the big names. And I just feel like these guys have done a really nice job of putting a stake in the ground and getting that. One is like speaking with their performance. The rule said, you know, there's a couple things I would change, but it is definitely pushing action. So there's not that many draws. There's a lot of exciting submissions. And that's really what kind of keeps your eyeballs glued to it. So that was a thing that kind of jumped out to me. The last couple of weeks, it felt very much like sports and not like dads watching grappling matches again. This felt like, man, we're watching like a sport. You know what I'm saying? It was great, man.
You have a very pro grappling house, so I don't think they're saying that to you. Especially if you have wrestlers as sons who are going to be like, Dad's watching grappling again. Boring.
Oh, now they'll put their singlets on and come watch it.
Let me point this out to you. Just some quick little news updates here. I'll address this one because this is top of the line. But this is from Isaac. It said, CJ is saying he's still got a chance. In the words of Egg, all things are possible. If his team won and he got an elbow genie and a kill every single time, that's theoretically 24 points, which if you're CJ, just to kind of play it out, play the thought out, if you are CJ, that would give you 28 points, which would put you at 7th place currently. or at least tied for 6th. It's possible. It's possible.
Yeah.
But I want you guys to play this game, and we'll do more of this on Tuesday. But CJ's first match on Wednesday, is going to be against Chris Olivo. Tim, would you like to know his second match?
Yes, I would.
Anthony Molina Valdez. Would you like to know his third match?
Yes.
Mike John. Now,
oh man,
this doesn't mean that he can't, but we've yet to see anybody hit 3 chokes, let alone with 3 elbow genies, and let alone with the team points. So it's hard, but he can be in a good position where, let's say somebody doesn't go to the playoffs. Let's say he does get 2 chokes and maybe he kind of gets to the upper echelon. Sometimes not everybody comes to the playoffs. So there's always a possibility here. What I can tell you is, CJ, if I'm you, go out with a bang. Like, have the best matches and continue the streak that you have been on, because you haven't really had boring matches. So our currency here on the show is, you're killing it, man. We wish you had more points, but it's not for lack of action. You are definitely an exciting grappler, and we're very happy about this. I do love this update here. And it says, I thought Christos and Landon had a separate house from the other fighter house. Egg, I wouldn't know that, because that would have to incur asking the children where they live. And I feel like if you specifically ask that, they will remind you have to be 500 feet away from them. So it is murky to figure out that language. I would just tell you, probably. But if that is the case, what is a punishment if you don't enforce it? If you're just like, I didn't do the dishes. Nah, it's scoundrel. Like, that's not a bad thing. It's just
the jiu-jitsu. That's the jiu-jitsu odd couple right there, Christos and Chris. I want that fantasy to stay alive in my head. In my head, those guys are rooming up for the season, and there's a lot of bickering and arguing and fighting going on.
I think next season we're just going to force everybody to live with each other and then see what happens. But yeah, nonetheless, I digress. Tim, we are going to move on here. We're going to go to our next segment, which is replay. Replay is the segment where we take a look back at some of the matches that took place during the week. You called out for a couple, so while I cue them up, can you give us a little bit of a hint of the matches that you asked for us to pull up today?
Yeah, absolutely. We're gonna see some of Derek Rayfield in action. Very exciting match. We're also going to take a quick look at Mejia versus Ortiz, and then we're going to jump down to Jet Thompson. So a lot of interesting things going on in these matches. Some great matches from week 4. Fantastic matches. And if you haven't checked out the highlights and the submission highlights and all the packages they have up at PGF World's YouTube site, you really should do yourself a favor and go check that out. There's some real cool stuff up there right now.
All right, Tim, for you, I'm going to go ahead and start with the match that was JJ Bowers and Derek Rayfield. Go ahead and knock it out of the park, sir.
So, man, Rayfield, he comes out with attitude, and I like the attitude, you know? I like the Dennis Rodman Pistons jersey, much to the chagrin of the commish. I don't know how a guy from Decatur loves the Chicago Bulls, but whatevs. So here we go. Bowers comes out and he hits a running double leg, spear tackles him to the ground, and picks up $500 from the man Zoe himself. Picks up the money bag, and Rayfield doesn't even really react. There's some back and forth, and eventually Rayfield jumps this flying triangle against Bowers, and Bowers holds on just a second too long. Look, kids at home, don't do this in the academy. Make sure you tap. He holds on just a little too long, eventually taps, but man, he's got to get them legs elevated. Rayfield picks up the money bag at the end. It was a start of a great night for him, picking up, I think he picked up 16 points on the night. What a job. Got a kill on Ardilla, got an elbow genie break against Dominic Lobo, 2 money bags on the night for Rayfield, and he picked up a penalty for flipping off the ref. you know, if you're going to do it, you may as well do a Stone Cold Steve Austin style. You know what I mean? Like, do it that way. So Bowers had a tough night, man. Not, you know, he just had some rough action.
He did. I want to come back to ask you with the main board here because I'm not sure if you have the same feeling I do. Number one, where do we fall on raising the legs? Because I reached out to Derek and I said, oh no, our ref raised the legs. Derek told me, oh, I work with the firefighter, and that firefighter told me, yeah, in some cases it helps. Where do you as an instructor fall on the raise the legs or don't raise the legs?
You know, I think it's all monkey see, monkey do, honestly. It's like, dude passed out. I don't know what to do. You know what they used to do? Slap him on the face a little bit, throw something cold on him, get a smelling salt, put it under their nose. But somewhere, probably in pride, we saw dudes getting the legs raised. And so we started raising the legs. Now, interesting enough, I've also seen dudes get legs raised when they take a groin shot. So maybe this is just like the old world medical practice solution. When you don't know what to do, lay down and put them legs up, man. That's the answer. Legs up is the way, baby. I don't know, man. Haven't you seen that? I've seen it. They're like jostling a dude who just took a ball shot. It's like, what are you doing to this guy, man?
I'm going to be honest, I don't think I have seen that, Tim. And I've been in this for a pretty long time, too. But you being like, hey, that dude got kicked in the nads, and he's, well, just lift the legs. Hey, buddy, come on,
yeah.
buddy. Come on.
Maybe it's a Stockton thing.
It's 100% some Stockton science. What I would tell you, in my opinion, is I don't think you raise the legs because it brings up a good point. Where is the blood rushing? You're like, what are we doing? It doesn't help you get things back. And if I do that, I'm going to hit a Boston Crab on the person. Like 100%. That's the only reason 100%. You lift the legs like that. It's not for a pass. It's not Toriano. It's not any of that shit. You're hitting a Boston Crab in that moment. So if you're in the chat, let us know where that is for you. And Isaac said, that's Derek Rodman, sir. He does go by Derek Rodman.
Oh, excuse me. I didn't realize that.
Listen, dude, you know how the PGF is with these.
Let's go, D-Rod.
Speaking of which, I want to say this. Even though we've been giving Christos a mess, the Randy Orton comparison with Landon was pretty strong when he heard voices in his head. But Christos has been so consistent on his speech where he is telling you, I know how to manipulate this game. Nobody knows how to manipulate this game better than me. I have told you guys from day one in my speech, which you may recall was a B-, that yes, I can game this better than anybody. So I present to you, my friends, my countrymen, should we not be referring to Christos as the game? Taken from Triple H himself, who now is running the WWE as the COO. I'm just wondering, is that not the nickname we should be giving to him? Because we call Landon Elmore the Big Slime. Don't know why. We just do.
Yeah.
But I feel like we can call Christos the game. Let us know what you think about that in the comments.
Yeah, I like that.
Tim, we're going to go back to the replay board. You asked for another highlight reel to be shown. So I'm going to pull this up here. The next match we are going to go to, so there's Mr. Rodman again, but you wanted to see the Dominic Mejia fight with one Spencer Ortiz. Talk us through this.
Yeah, so Mejia comes out like a mini Vinny Magalhaes. He's kind of got that vibe to him. Look at him. He's just coming down. He's super chill. He's just like a smaller version of him. A tough matchup here for Ortiz, 100%. So match gets started. Guys are going to shake hands. And, you know, Ortiz has got some good wrestling. He looks like he goes for, you know, maybe thinks about doing some kind of takedown, then just decides to sit. And at this point, Mejia turns into a blanket, man. He blankets Ortiz. ultimately passes the guard. Pay attention to the elbow work that he's starting to do right here. He gets up under the elbow. There's nothing worse than being mounted when your arms are bundled, and Ortiz is in a bad spot. Mejia ultimately passes his head to the outside of that elbow and sets up the head and arm. And, you know, all credit to Ortiz. He hung on. This is not an easy position to deal with, man. This is a tough position if you're at home. This position sucks, but it was a wrap for Ortiz. Man, he had a great night, dude. He went on to score 15 points. 15 points. Fantastic, man. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Tim, it's okay. I'm going to steal your bubble here for a second, because I noticed something, and I'm not sure if you guys did too, but this look that he does, this I hate more than anything in jiu-jitsu. When somebody is so good at jiu-jitsu, they're now bored that they're beating.
Yeah, right.
Like, this is the most offensive thing. So it's one thing to be looking down at your opponent, but then the look out, like, what else is going on? How are you guys doing over there on that one couch? Do a little wink. I was just like, listen, Dom, you need to chill out. And to give you an idea of how solid a practitioner is, if you watch Spencer in his other matches, or if you're familiar with his work elsewhere, it's always action. He is one of the Vegas boys where, you know, it's nonstop highlight machine sort of stuff. So this is a dude who's used to having intense practices, intense competition, and Dom just neutralizes the living hell out of him, and then just returns back to having the slowest of slow burns. But I want to point this out. So I instruct my students to do this on occasion, but it can be risky if you don't know how to do it right. Now you're thinking, why isn't he going flat, right? Most people go hip to hip. They go parallel with that person. In this particular case, Dom actually has a knee on belly on this, but it's a loose knee on belly. That's how confident he is on the squeeze and the technique. You see, Spencer is trying to bridge a little bit into him, which sometimes can maybe give you that angle to shrimp and start turning into the opponent. There is no space here. That arm is trapped. So this is like huge, but it looks so effortless. And one thing that I tell our guys to do, there's the competition knee on belly and there's the gym knee on belly. The gym knee on belly is the one where it's usually like, hey, I'd prefer you tap. The other one goes straight into the sternum. This, from at least the knee standpoint, is polite. So I have to give Dom some due that's how good that squeeze is, where he's not even trying to bust any kind of additional pressure into that sternum. That dude is literally saying like, yeah, you're going to tap, man. So I thought that was a pretty neat highlight. Tim, you asked for one more. We must deliver it. What was the third match that you asked for today, good sir?
Jet Thompson and Spencer Ortiz. Thompson continues to put points up on the board. You know, this is rough for Ortiz. He just lost to Mejia in match 13. Now we're in match 26, and he's got to fight Jet Thompson, who's been on a run. He put up 12 points on the night. He's jumped up to like number 5 or 6 on the leaderboard. Like, he's in the hunt. He's definitely in the hunt. He appears to be getting stronger each week. And man, Jet's game of looking for the shotgun arm bar, looking for the Choi bar, switching off to the leg attack, using it to work behind you. It's super hard for these guys to deal with right now, and he's really finding the timing. He starts to get underneath Ortiz, immediately gets a sweep and a reversal, and ends up coming up to the top. There was a reset for penalty points, which Jet has used very, very well this season. He's put a lot of guys in this back take position off of the penalty time. And once Jet gets the body triangle with the leg locked in, he sets up his gift wrap. And Ortiz is trying to survive, but man, there's 4.5 minutes or so on the clock at this point, and that's a long time to eat a face wrap. Nice job from Jet Thompson. You know, this is a good sign if you're Jet Thompson, because you are gaining momentum and strength and Jet Thompson power as the weeks progress. Nice job from him, man. I think he's gonna make some big moves in week 5, man.
I love the fact that Jet was like, I'm not worried about right now, y'all. Like, I know what a postseason looks like. I will get ready for that postseason when the time is ready. And him coming alive right now, it should be a reminder to you guys, when do back takes become really important? When they almost win you season 6. Wait, overtime. Wait, oh no. Oh no, not getting somebody off your back for regulation and then for overtime. That's going to be really dangerous. If Jet can stay safe throughout regulation, or even if he's bullying people and back to those ways, that is going to be a very tough series of playoffs. And there are some big questions, you know, like a Jet Thompson versus a Chris Olivo. You got Christos versus Landon. They will have to stop being buddy-buddy soon. So you're going to get some real big questions. And a note here from Egg that says, with only his points from week 4, Rayfield would be tied for 11th. Okay, yes, that is an interesting fact.
That's insane.
Moose, listen here. What are we doing? What are you asking? You said, why is Jet still missing a tooth? Why does he need one? He's got plenty of other ones.
Is Jet the reincarnation of Billy the Kid? Like, he looks like the Billy the Kid old-timey photos. If he put the hat on and held the gun, like, I think he could do it.
Can I tell you what Jet is in my worldview of the PGF?
Yes, I would love you to tell me.
Jet, to me, is the Larry Bird of PGF.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Subtle with his trash talk. Very effective at what he does. And I got some evidence of this when I was hanging out with the New Hope Kings. And they were telling, because I was like, yo, Juan, Jet, you guys seem so chill. Everybody else here is insane. Look at Ant. Look at Go Johnny. Those guys are insane. And basically, anybody need Anthony on this season. Absolutely insane.
Right.
I go, but Jet, Juan, you guys, right down the middle, salt of earth guys. And they look at me and they go, you haven't been around Jet. Jet's kind of crazy too. And I go, this does further my Larry Bird theory. So, yeah, just saying, think about that. So, yes, Moose, you put up a thing that says extra XP. I guess the reason why I'm asking this, Moose, is your name is Moose. How are you lobbying any kind of social commentary on someone being like, they're missing a tooth? Well, your name's Moose. What are we doing? Like, you even have antlers that you get to come out with. It's branding, sir. Maybe he just wants to keep it that way. Maybe he wants to keep it so real. He's like, I don't want that. And I've seen that. There have been black belts that I have rolled with that literally had a tooth knocked out from training, didn't get it replaced, have lots of money. So,
yeah.
Just saying.
Maybe the tooth isn't missing. Maybe Jet keeps it in his pocket.
Jet keeps it as a reminder from like his white belt days where he's like, one time somebody submitted me and they knocked my tooth out. So I kept the tooth so that I never forget that. So that I'll remember to always knock out other people. So that's what I do. I see a note here from some folks. And there's a question. So, Tim, I'm going to put it back on the board while I set this up. But it's worthy enough for us to take a little side venture here. The question from the group is, and this is from Squilliam, anyone see that slam by J.J. Bowers? Tim, did you?
I absolutely did. Picked up a DQ for it. I think was that against Gojani that he slammed?
Yep.
Yeah, Gojani played it very well. My personal read on Bowers, and this is not like a anything about him as a person. I'm sure he's a young dude. I'm sure he's a great dude. He's obviously working hard. Very, very talented. Extremely talented. I sense a little bit of frustration in his game right now. In the Rayfield match, there was a little pushing. It was real subtle, but on the breaks, there was some pushing and some shoving and a little bit of, a little microaggression going on. But yeah, he definitely slammed Gojani, and I got the feeling that he just did it out of frustration.
So why don't we take a look at it? We're going to now go to that scene itself, and you and I will both be in this one. Talk us through your interpretation here, Tim.
So obviously Gojani's going for his back, and Bowers is like, not today, Satan. Basically kind of does like a fireman's carry slam. I can't remember what they call that in the WWE. There's a name for that where they flip them over and land on top of them.
You're talking about like it's John Cena FU or an attitude
kind of
adjustment.
Sort of, yeah. Yes, ish, yeah. This kid is just look at him right here. He looks irritated. Just the back of his rash guard and the way his traps look irritated.
Yeah, I feel you on that. Let me walk you through our interpretation. So first and foremost, this was challenged. So they brought it over to the TV. So the refs were near us. I didn't need but one additional look before I said, yeah, no, that's a slam. Now, granted, JJ has run with this and been like, how that a slam? How? What? You guys call that a slam? And he did a good job of working the audience. And I would tell you this, between the evidence we have with JJ at the draft and JJ here, clearly in the wrong, he gets the people going. So
yeah,
whether you agree or not with him, or you read the rule book or you don't, he still had people actively like, yeah. So I would tell you this. Here's my exact interpretation as to why this was illegal. And disagree with me if you will. But we're going to take this bit by bit. Okay, here, Gojani's trying to lock that choke up. He elects to go up. So this is where things get a little fuzzy. You can go one way or another on this. Now at this point, while he's going there, JJ picks up Gojani. That is a clear pickup. Okay? Because look, you went from he's here, Gojani's balanced, to then he grabs the leg, hoists, and moves up. Okay, shouldn't be an issue. Now, this is a little bit different than, say, a triangle choke where you can kind of like shake them off, and sometimes we have a little bit of leeway here. All right, we're getting into the John Cena territory, but you can tell he works a little blue because he's not protecting the head. That's something in the wrestling biz you would find out. But nonetheless, watch the feet. 3, 2, 1. The feet come up.
Right there. Now
if he had taken a knee and brought him down, no penalty. This is intention when you make that choice. Now, if you're in a different rule set, no problem. You're in this rule set that you agreed to, that we have multiple meetings on, that a slam. So you can't get mad at me or other people from being like, what? How dare that not be? No, that is a slam. What's been great is Brandon has been so consistent with just being like, I love you, JJ, but that's a slam. So like, has not. And look at this. I thought about bringing this to bullpen court, but I thought there was no way JJ could defend himself and that he would only get progressively more mad. But you have a real person who does things in outside life saying, but it was a slam.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, all of us are in consensus. The only person who is not up to speed is JJ. And that just might be the public persona of him. He might have looked at this and been like, I mean, it's kind of a slam, but that's a dumb rule, which is a completely different conversation. So we got that. Tim, I'm going to do one quick more of these before we get back to the board. I want to go over the top 5 submissions of the week. I'll go ahead and have you take the very first one here, sir.
This looks like Rafa Ferreira and JJ Bowers. A little gamesmanship from Rafa on top there. I like that. He's on the back. You know, Bowers, frustrating night, man. Carrying dudes around half the night. He probably wanted to slam him so bad here. And once you get that choke in, you could see Rafa just wringing the neck to get the elbow under. That's a nice technique there. Gets the sub, goes Clay Guida, and
you're going Clay Guida. I'm going to refer to Rafa as the Roberto Benigni of the PGF. This is a dude, like, who's Oscars, taking a moment to jump on some chairs? Like, where do you get off, Rafa?
You're right.
I never have that amount of time when I'm choking somebody from the back. And this is the part that I think I feel for JJ on. Look at the look on his face. He's like, I can't get this dude off of my back. I know something bad is about to happen.
Yeah.
And the best part was, actually, JJ, I think I'm with you with this. This of like what is happening is 1,000,000% where I'm at.
He's like, this means I'm in duress.
Come on, fools. If you guys come here, 213, okay? Come on, fam. So I am in agreement here. One more time, just as a nice reminder, this finish by Dom Mejia was also very, very well done. We talked a little bit about it a few seconds earlier, but again, that knee placement, it's everything. It does such a great job. And Dom has just been an efficient machine. And what's great about it is the 6 points, the holding out for it here. This is a great strategy because even if he didn't get this, you can go straight to taking the back from here. So it's a very, very calculated sort of approach by Dom, who has been killing it and has made his way very much into the playoffs, in my opinion. So you have that going on here. And then, not to be outdone, Tim, he does it one more time. What happens here, sir?
This is Gojani and Mejia, and he sets up a nice, looks like he's on an arm lock here. Yeah, he is. Goes after the other arm and then scoops up into the triangle. And now,
just double checking. We're calling that a triangle, right? Because
did he have both arms in?
Well, here's what happens. We're now in a point where you lock up a triangle, you start messing with the arm. They start having Paul Ardilla flashbacks. They start being, was that a triangle or was that an arm? Where are you tapping?
Oh.
But in this particular case, Tim, let's look at it one more time. You said triangle. I'm going with your first instinct. But now think like a competitor who doesn't want other people to get points. Or like best friends who are trying to fight to not do the dishes.
Oh, you give him the arm. That's what he did. He gave him the arm. It looked like a V-lock almost.
Because my nervousness was right here, thinking as a strategist, oh, we're going to settle for the break. Which, if you're Dom, actually isn't a killer because he's been so consistent. And he looks, this is where the choice happens. He says, no, let me try and get this triangle, right? Okay. Now, what is he tapping to? Because we have the opposite side. Is it going to be that triangle? Is it going to be the arm bar? Dom doesn't care. He just says, are you entertained? And
what did he pick up for that? Did they give him 3 or 6?
I think they gave him 6. Egg, you tell us. I'm not going to look it up. You know what it is? Now that we have Egg in the chat, I'm just 100% always going to go. Egg, ruling.
He's our AI.
He is our AI. And they did it to him in the athlete chat, too. And it says, Josh Gibbs tried that against Elijah Carlton in PGF Season 3. Elijah still got the kill. And Moose is asking, did he get 3 for that or 6 for that? Please, Moose.
Look.
All address Egg on those. Reply all, but CC Egg. And it says, just for extra information, this is an ankle triangle where you pull in the free arm to reinforce the wedge into the neck. You can see tons of Kingsway's guys do this. Absolutely. And again, Dom, we love that. This is phenomenal. The real question is not the beauty of the technique. It is obviously it's kind of weird when you have guys who go 3 or 6, and they're always going to go 3. There's no way you're on a different team and you don't say 3 because you're like, oh, that arm. In our particular case, I saw you sneak in that leg, and I go, damn, props to that kid, because it's very smart to make that transition so that you have both sort of applying to you. So thank you for that, Dom. Just don't do that to me. Now that I've seen the game, very terrified. And you know what? Now I know what your YouTube icon looks like, so I'm going to keep you away from me. Good to know.
Raph,
let's move. Yeah.
Can I just jump in? I'm not trying to derail, but how unique is it what we're doing in such a unique sport that is something, launching it out like this is done by people who are extremely passionate about jiu-jitsu. Like, if all this went away, we'd still be in the gym training, right? That's like the number one thing we love. But what sport do you know of where the athletes who play in the games interact with the actual hosts and shows and clarify and talk about the positions and the moves and the techniques that they do? Egg had actually mentioned this on the broadcast about, like, Chris went on Christos, pardon me, don't get mad at me, Christos went on Instagram, showed how he did a move. And then it got me thinking, is like, these guys, they're talking to us while we're doing the shows live about the season that's happening right now. I challenge you to find that. Where is that happening? Who's doing that?
Yeah, Michael Jordan wasn't calling into Sports Center and being like, actually, it was a triple axel. You guys got that fucked up. What I can tell you, though, is Dom also does it in an incredibly polite way. Like, this is a very talented young man who's just like,
absolutely.
Hey, just in case you guys want to know, here's some more details of how I do it. I'm like, I will always welcome that, sir. So love that. But I do see Egghead also saying the player chat is asking for a second look / opinion, but it should be upheld. Well, we'll have to wait for the Supreme Court to rule on it. There's just a couple more submissions, and then we got to get back to the board here. But, man, the Are You Not Entertained, Dom? We are. How did you get scuffed up? How did this happen? Because none of the guys are doing that to you in the competition. Tim, take this one, sir.
This is, it's a little fuzzy. It looks like
Dom,
this
Lobo,
is Lobo
and Chris.
And, oh, yeah, Chris Olivo. Man, Chris hits this nice ankle lock, belly down. When he gets belly down on the ankle, man, it's hard. And he sets it up from the bottom where he pulls the sweep, and then he attacks the opposite side leg. It's very nice. It's like he put Lobo in a washing machine, basically, and he spun him around. And when it ended, he was upside down, belly down with the angle. And, he's menacing. He's doing the thing, man. I can't help but picture him cooking. Yeah, it's great stuff from Olivo last night, man.
And again, one more look at this one with JJ and Derek. I mean, Derek trying to give you bang for your buck. Some of us have been afraid to see some folks do a flying technique, but comes in, gets the entry very quickly, tightens it up, makes the adjustments. And here you could see somebody losing it, grabs underneath the leg, starts tightening it up. JJ's really not looking in a great position here. And what's really tough about it is Derek has time to work. Enough so that you can feel, and that tap does happen. And when it does, this is the part that I actually, now I'm glad I get to see.
Get him up.
Well, when he lets go of it, Derek pats him on the head to be like, hey, bud, all good. And that's when JJ does like that front roll that I was like, oh, he's fine. Oh, no, he's not. Oh, no. I hope he's okay.
Do you see there was no hesitation in that, ref? Like, as soon as Bowers did the front row, ref was like, I'm on it.
I think that's Jacob. My apologies if I got that wrong, ref. Apologies. Beautiful. Here. We don't know names as well as we should. But nonetheless, a very, very fun day of action and some real good highlights. Tim, let's knock out part of these boards, and then we're going to get you out of here in just a couple seconds. But for right now, I want to take us back to the board and get through some topics. You had one that you said Craig jacked. Why are we talking about Craig being jacked? And we're going to do this as a speed round because there's some updates, I think, to the world.
So Craig recently went online, alluded that he would be taking Big Dan's spot on New Wave at CJI2. And then there was some talk online, some chatter early this morning that perhaps it wasn't Craig, perhaps it was gonna be someone else. I'll let you take that. I'll let you tell us who it is.
Yeah, so you actually found this really well, and I'm glad that you did, which is you told us that on Smooth Comp, they had kind of tipped their hat a little bit too much, because on Smooth Comp, it was revealed that Wagner Hocha is actually going to be the one taking the spot. Nobody admitted to it. They took it down, but earlier this morning, it was officially announced that Wagner will be taking that spot. Why is that interesting? I'll tell you why from my perspective. Number one, Craig playing 4D chess in knowing that there's no way Gordon would ever be caught dead competing for the New Wave team, saying like, oh, you need somebody? What if I helped you win? I thought an incredible moment, but you probably got the intention that wasn't going to see its way through, but it's good for getting the people going. JJ Bowers knows that better than anybody else. But then you see Wagner, which makes sense as a competitor. I'm not sure on the weight per se, but Wagner's never been opposed to going wherever you need him to go. So having said all that, a very interesting turn of events. Wagner joins Team New Wave, and it was a fun whirlwind that we were able to go through. But that's not all we've got here. We'll talk more about the CJI developments in the coming weeks. We have something going on here, Tim, that, Andy was making headlines everywhere. But in this particular case, what was he railing against, sir?
Look, Andy, I almost called him Randy. Sorry about that, Andy. Andy is, look, we're hats versus glasses. He's a big shirts versus skins, guys. And I'm telling you right now, he's on Team Skins. He don't even button up his button-up shirt all the way. He's like, one button, it's okay. I don't even like buttons. But he went online complaining against the UFC BJJ's uniform policy. Everybody's got to have rash guards on. He's not a fan. Talked about greasing. They're implying Nicky Rod was greasing. He's like, hey, this guy doesn't even compete anymore. But yeah, Andy hits some weird angles sometimes, man.
Would you like to have Andy read the full statement that he put out?
Oh, I would love it. I would love
Absolutely.
it.
Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can channel Andy real quick. Hey, hear me out. We shouldn't have to wear shirts for the UFC BJJ. 1, the dude complaining about greasing isn't even competing no more. It's crazy. 2, MMA fights, no one wears shirts and no one gets called for greasing. Should be same for jiu-jitsu. No hyphen, because I don't know how to hyphenate jiu-jitsu. 3, we need more sex appeal, man. Long sleeves is crazy. Or at least a short sleeve option. Can't show the biceps or the tattoos. So I think the crux of his argument is this. I think he paid good money for his tattoos and does a lot of good upkeep on doing sit-ups and push-ups that he's actually really angry he can't really show off either. So that's really what he's going against. So here's what I can tell you guys. We refer to it as ADCC style with no t-shirt, no rash guard. Sure. I think the hard part with the UFC is they may have some deals. So I think that might be what you're going against. But I agree. I don't think you should have to wear a long sleeve. I think a short sleeve rash guard is probably the better speed.
Yeah.
I don't always love a long sleeve myself, but option should be paramount here. So there is that. Tim, we're going to move forward on another one. I'm sure we'll revisit that again. But he did refer to people being angry about it as angry looking lesbians, which I think is probably the line of the whole thing. Tell me a little bit about why Danielle Kelly felt like she was being shelved.
So Danielle Kelly had gone on social media recently and said that she feels like she was taken advantage of, that she was shelved by one, that they signed her to a pretty good contract in the beginning. And I've heard this from several other one athletes that eventually they came to her with some matchups that weren't like the rematch. She didn't want that immediate rematch. I think it was against Bastos that she lost to. And they told her like, hey, if you don't take this, we don't know when you're going to fight again. And she doesn't feel good about her situation. Then Tom DeBlas, who's the VP of grappling, came out and said, yo, there's only one grappling match per one event, and it's only the best of the best. So if you lose 2 in a row, you got to go. Interesting. because I thought that Kelly and DeBlas kind of ultimately come out of the same family of fighters, right? It's all Henzo underneath, but yeah, man, pretty interesting stuff. Again, same complaint about one keeps coming out.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I thought they would be more in sync than not. Maybe sometimes you just speak a little bit out against the company, and then you have to take the company line of, well, you said some words about us, so I can't be in your corner anymore. Daniel Kelly is a very exciting grappler, so I'm intrigued to see how that one plays out. Tim, I'm going to take your side on this one. I'm just going to give you 1 minute to tell me any quick hits. This means any news or information that didn't quite make it on the board this week, because there was a little bit of stuff. So this is just a 1 minute on the clock. Tell me what, if anything, we missed on the board this week that deserves talking about. Tim, why did you freeze up like that? Of all things to freeze up, like, why is that the frozen look by Tim? By the way, I love this is where he got stuck.
Yeah,
there we go. I see you back, sir.
Hang on.
Tim, you good?
Dang.
Woo. What happened there, sir?
Yeah, I'm good, bro. Holy cow.
The
laptop was gonna die, man.
Oh, I see. Okay. Tell you what. I was going to give you, let's do 1 minute real quick. Just tell me the news that's not fit to print for the rest of this week, sir.
Well, a tragedy happened at the IBJJF. I believe it was Chicago. One of the competitors suffered from some kind of heart emergency, passed away. A lot of words going on around that. I don't know a ton about it, but obviously, our condolences and our hearts are with the family. I'm not sure how that's going to shake out. Not the greatest thing. The other thing is the coach of Pedigo, which I believe is it Heath or Keith? I think it's Heath. Man, had a serious eye injury, had to have emergency surgery, and it looks like he's got some more lined up. This happened when he was teaching a seminar, which is crazy. He's got to go fund me out. So if you can help him, man, please help him out. He's a good dude building a real strong team.
Well, Tim, I think that is your time for today, right?
Yeah, man, I would love to talk about the fight with you. Like, if we could just do it, it's so good. You talk us through it. I want to hear.
You want to hear me go through this fight?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Because I was intrigued when you sent it to me, and I had to have a moment because I was thinking to myself, I was like, when I saw you send me this particular fight, I thought, all right, Tim's really excited about this one. Let's see what it is. And I only watched a couple seconds of it. And I got to tell you, I'm a little nervous for the rest of it, but I'm going to put the double bubble version of this so that way I can do it with you.
Okay.
But Tim, I will give you my honest interpretation of the fight. Here we go. All right. So first of all, there are a little bit of disputes. Oh, no, he's going into an ottoman and pulling out. What is this? You're bringing out a clipper on this dude?
Bull
like,
cutters.
What are you talking about? You got bull cutters here. Then meanwhile, you've got Billy Idol / Sting looking over and getting in somebody's face. And now it's a weapon off. So he's coming in with a stick, goes for a kick, and he's got the Crocodile Dundee hat to boot. And meanwhile, Honey Boo Boo's mom is not having it as she drags down Crocodile Dundee and says, "Not on my watch," who runs back and gets into the car in an amazing way. Well done here, Sir, but Honey Boo Boo's mom was almost on it. What's
you got to run it back.
Okay.
You got to. Did you see the girl try to steal the truck? He jump kicks her through the window. Watch. No, go back. You got to see the other girl run up and get it in the truck.
She does get it there.
Watch. There she is. He sees it, and Dundee goes, hell no. He launches through the window.
I've never seen anybody
He's
try to
super
hit
kicking her in the cab.
A 619 into their own vehicle. Honey Boo Boo's mom says, "No, you Crocodile Dundee, you come back here. You don't." And then Billy Idol / Sting not having it. And it looks they're joining hands on that stick. And there's a lot of you get. I think things have calmed down, but there's more tape here.
A lot of.
Wait, was that a skateboard? What did he just throw?
No.
He gets back in. I think he barely has.
It's not over, dude.
Some shoes. Oh no. Honey Boo Boo's mom is pulling at the strings here. She says, "We're not done here, lady. We got to get back." Now, the woman who was trying to steal the car did she try to go back to steal it again? Was she just trying to find a different angle and he swats her away? Get out of here. Yeah, now he just goes, seriously, get the F out. Honey Boo Boo mom is she's had her fill. She's done. Oh no, the bag goes down. She's not done. Still trying to something on the camera. Tim, that was art. That was perfect. Listen, that was worth both of us being on camera for. Tim, you need to go. So I'm going to let you get out of here. Thank you for that wonderful.
I love you, man. Great job.
I love you too. I'll talk to you later, Tim. For the rest of you guys, let me just say this. First of all, that was immaculate. Second of all, while we have a second, why don't we actually go through the best, I think this is the best throws of the week while I'm still in the mood, because good Lord, that was funny. Oh my God. These are the top 5 takedowns of PGF week number 4. Got JJ Bowers coming in here. Looks for that. And then you had at that point, Hoffa basically just toppling on him and then going over, trying to secure up this. So that was actually a fun one. I mean, look, JJ's initiating it with this, but Hoffa just comes over and just kind of lands on him. Great balance, good sense of where to fall and go on that one. Let's go to the second one over here on this. Man, Landon wanted people to say, get some respect on my name. I will rush a takedown. These are 2 tiny Tasmanian devils going after each other. These are almost people who are more qualified to be in the 135 or 145 weight categories, but nonetheless, lots of hair flying there from Hoffa. Great one from Landon. This was a fun one as well. You got John Chandler looking over at Spencer, and they go into the crowd here, but watch this, what happens right here. Deadlifts him essentially down, and you could see Zoe, he is looking for his money bag faster than somebody whenever they've got Girl Scout cookies out at the store. There's a great question that says, how many money bags has Zone thrown this season? We need some money bag statistics here, Egg, because I've tried to mark them down and it just goes too fast. Speaking of going too fast, let's look at this one that JJ was able to get on Derek. So JJ, always going to give you money on return. A beautiful dart spears Derek, who was very loose. Now, obviously, we know Derek got the better of him in that match, but that was a great fire way to start the match, and it did get another money bag. These are just really highlights of when the money bag goes. I think that's what the AI is doing. It just goes, did Zoe throw a money bag? Clip that. One more time here that was really nice by John Chandler, who just read that one really well. Duck under, beautifully timed. 3, 2, 1, feel that, goes down, bam. And I'm glad Spencer's knee is okay on that one because mine would not have been. I want to go back over here just one more time. This was honestly my favorite takedown, though. If I had a money bag, I think I would have given it out for this one. So watch. They go over to the crowd. You're wondering, is this going to be a zoo animals attacking the humans that are around? Maybe, maybe not. But just the strength of Chandler. That's some impressive stuff because you have a resisting opponent not giving you an inch, and you basically deadlift them into the suplex. Well done. And it says, I think he has Varela's banker advising him on the number of money bags available. Very possible. The amount of times I have had to press the money bag graphic when I was not ready, a few times. So there be that. Ladies and gents, that is, I think, the majority of the show that we have for you guys. But before we get on out of here, if you have any last questions, throw them at me before we call it a day. We already went through the fight. We'll get to the gallery, and I'm going to just do a quick little... Egg, I'm sorry I missed this, dude. It was so good. Dukes of Hazzard style truck entrance. You are not kidding about that. I saw this. Also, the editorial board for eggheadwarrior.com. Is that just you? wrote that the Tropic Thunders had the worst draft grade. Love the team name, but was right about their draft. See, I feel less bad about saying I wanted to do a eulogy for their playoff chances because you're not even seeing the casket go down and wanting to take credit for it. Can we do that in week 5? At least week 5 pre-show, and then we can do that one. It still feels too raw. It feels a little too sudden still. So maybe that's just me. And then this is a good one. Missing mushrooms. Who is on more mushrooms when they compete? Worth or Olivo? Honestly, I don't know that one. You'd have to ask those boys. That is that. I see the impression, meaning my Andy Varela. Thank you. Appreciate that. I don't even like buttons. Dude, buttons are so dumb. Do you guys ever wear shirts that have no buttons? Because sometimes I do. It's wild, you guys. You don't even know. I'm like a cat, I love my cat. That's what I like to do when I'm done. I play video games, and I crash RAF's post show. It's pretty cool. You guys would love it. I think you guys really like that. No, I know what you're asking. I just don't know. I don't know the answer to this, Moves. Who is on more mushrooms when they compete? Worth or Worth? I don't know, because Worth looked like he was feeling no pain. You knew that he was injured, because that dude loves to compete. He won't sit out for just anything. And on his way out was already been like, hey, man, when's the next time you guys got a subversive? What's going on there? You guys got more competitions? I'm like, sir, are you not injured? We did that one already. All right. I think we're kind of at the end of this chat for today. But ladies and gents, that's pretty much going to do it for us here at the Bullpen. We appreciate you guys. You're going to want to tune back in on Tuesday for our live pre-show that myself and Tim will do as we get you ready for the last week of regular competition here at the PGF. And then Wednesday, you can find me back in Vegas live hosting the bridge part of the pre-show. So yeah, you'll see me. There's live stuff that happens before the show. You'll see 30 matches, and at the very end of the night, you see your boy RAF ESPARZA hosting the post-show with a lot of antics. And like I said, do not miss the post-show, because you are truly missing out. That's a choice you're making. You never know who's going to stop by on the post show. Just saying. There's that. Last reminders, like, comment, subscribe if you haven't. I saw a couple of you guys giving some thumbs up on the way out. That means a lot. Tell the people you like the pre and the post show, so that way the drunks at the end of the night who are in the comment section are outweighed by the people that we know that actually love this, including the friends of the show, the friends of the production, the athletes themselves. We've gotten some great notes throughout the season. It really does mean a lot, you guys. So reminders, like, comment, subscribe. Find me on Patreon at The Grappling Hour. There, you can also see some interviews. I'm going to put up next week an interview with Landon and an interview with Juan that we conducted earlier that is now going to be free to everybody. So check those out. Those two kids, really good kids, excellent jiu-jitsu guys, and you've seen a lot of them this season. Get to know a little bit more about them, and we can go from there. But ladies and gents, on behalf of us here at the Bullpen, thank you so much for watching. It has been a great day for grappling. We'll see you back on the mats.